Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to clean your PS5, how to install your M.2 memory expansion, even though it's not available yet. We'll show you how to do that. Plus we want to show you that a heatsink will work with this. We'll discuss that a little bit. Stay tuned. Alrighty, everybody, this is a video I did because it just certain little things I've seen some videos out there, and I thought, well, I'll do my little video on it. The important thing is the M.2 memory expansion, which Sony they kind of kept quiet about it. I'm not real sure which ones are going to be compatible, or if they're going to turn around and make it like proprietary Sony branded thing. I don't know. I did buy a Samsung 980 Pro. So the thing about it is if this doesn't work, I'm going to put it in my editing machine. So it's not that I'm going to waste any money, but my suggestion, don't buy one until Sony releases the new firmware update. So anyhow, just to show you how to take this apart, and this will not void the warranty. The top part, you want to pull up where the Sony logo's at. You want to pull up on it and push, and it just pops off that easy. And then the bottom, you want to go to this opposite corner. Now this one's with the disk drive. So here's the disk drive cover. You want to go the opposite corner of the disk drive. Do the same thing. You just pull up on the corner until you'll hear it. You'll hear it pop. And that gets you inside just the basic workings of the machine. Now on this side, here's your M.2 expansion case or slot. It's underneath this. And here's your fan. That's easy to clean it. And if you look here, let's see, get close. You can see here, these little holes are for vacuuming, so you can vacuum the dust out. The fan itself, if you look on this side, there are screws that you can take. You can take the fan completely out if you want to clean it, which I do it because it's a good idea. And it's not that hard. It's only 4 screws. And it's easy to do as long as you have a little kit like this. I got these little iFixit kits. It takes these little Torx heads. I don't know what size it is. I'm not sure. Let's see. Gotta look on. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think it's a, what's that, 8? My eyes are so bad. Yeah, it's 8H. And it's Torx head. I guess I could go ahead and, yeah, let me do that real quick. It's really not that hard to do. One thing you need to watch when you're doing this is each one of these screws is a little bit different. So when you take them out, you want to place them in the order you're taking them out so you don't mess up which screw goes where. But it's a good idea to do this if you're going to deep clean it. This one is dirty because I just cleaned it the other day, but it does build up dust. Okay, down the top. This last screw, you can see it's kind of a pain the way they did that. If you look right in the corner there, that screw, this little vent part obstructs it just a little bit. So you kind of have to, when you loosen that screw, you have to bend this thing out of the way a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything because it's plastic. It bends. So you just take these out. Take the fan guard out. Oops, make sure I got that. And you can see these two screws are the same. These two are different, so it's a good idea to keep it like that. And then this little back edge here, it's a sticker. So you want to peel just enough of that sticker up to get to the plug. It's a small plug in here. Let's see if we can get this camera. Way I can show you guys what it looks like. You peel this up. See, it's a little plug, and it can only go in one way. So don't worry about once you unplug it, not being able to put it back in, because it's, like I say, the plug only goes in one way. So you're not going to get the polarity mixed up. So anyhow, you peel that sticker back a little, take you some tweezers, get in there and wiggle around. Oh, don't be difficult. See if I can just get it with the wire. There it goes. And the fan just pulls right out. Just that easy. This fan shroud, I don't know, or the little vent thing, it kind of gets in the way a little bit. But there it is. It's a squirrel cage fan. And that way you can clean it out. Not only that, but you can deep clean up in here. You know, get up in there with a brush and your vacuum. Let's see if I can show that. Yeah, it's kind of dark in there. Let's see. But yeah, you can get up in there with your vacuum, you know, or a brush, get it to clean out. It's so dark in there. Yeah. But you get the idea. It's really, really easy. And another thing, taking this fan out, that doesn't void the warranty, so don't even worry about that. And before I put that fan back in, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to install a new memory module into this. It's nothing. It's really easy. So hang on just a second. I want to adjust this camera so you can get a downward view. So I'll be right back. Alright, so here's the way it works. You get a Phillips head screwdriver. You can see this big screw. It's got the Sony logo. You just, well, if I can get in there. Oh, I got a, never mind. I got a Torx head wrench in there. There. That works a little better. And like I say, removing these covers is not going to void the warranty. The only time you're going to void the warranty is if you really get deep inside of this thing. Which, I got to give Sony credit. I like the way they did this. Oh, let me adjust this light. Hang on. Okay, that's better. Now, you can see it facilitates 5 different sizes of M.2 drive. It comes default in this last slot. What you want to do is take that out. Take the little screw out. That's a Phillips head screw. And make sure don't lose this little collar. And you take the M.2 drive that you're going to install and you put it in at an upward angle. You can't get this backwards because it's keyed. If you look, so it's got that little key on there. But you put it in. slightly elevated. And you can see once you get it in the way it has to be, or the way it's supposed to be, it'll stay up. There'll be a spring to it. And then when you mash it down, you can see which size you need. And then what you want to do is you want to take this little cylinder. It's like a little aluminum cylinder. You want to place it in that spot where it's going to go. Then you put this back in. Oops, get in there. Get it in there till it's being held up. Oh, don't be so cantankerous. There, okay. And then you want to push it down onto that little sleeve. And you want to take your little screw, because that sleeve acts as a spacer. Plus it's a mechanical connection, because if you notice there's a little exposed copper here at the end, and that just kind of helps with the grounding and shielding. Then when you need to screw that screw down onto it, and don't over tighten it, just get it just tight enough to hold that in there. And see, and that's just how easy it is. Now I need to show you another trick, because if you see the way this bay is made, a lot of people are, there's pros and cons about cooling. Anyhow, yeah, you put the cover back on. If you see the cover, how it's indented, they did that, I think, because they realized that because some of these M.2 drives have heat sinks built onto them, so I think that might be what's going on. I want to show you here in just a second. Okay, let me cut scene and get this camera back over here. Okay, what I'll show you is, I'm not going to change the lighting, it probably doesn't look quite right. Heat sinks, there's a lot of pros and cons to how to do this. First thing is the NAND flash, which are these two large units here. That's the actual memory. And I've read up enough and I've seen enough videos about it that it works best when it's warm, or the warmer it is, the better it works, and actually the longer it'll last. The controller, which is this silver square here, that's the one, it doesn't like to be warm. So it's the one that you really need to be cooling. So I purchased a heat sink, and it wasn't very much. It was, I think I got it on Amazon. But the way it works, you just place it inside here. I'm just doing this just to show you guys how this works, and that it actually does work. Okay, I'll put that in there, and then the top heat sink. And what I've done, as you can see, I've got it matched up so that the heat conductive tape is only going to cover the controller board, and all this other stuff here. That's the only thing that the heat sink is going to come into contact with. So it's the only thing that's actually going to be cooling. I ain't going to go to the trouble. Well, yeah, I will. Put the screws in. Now, well, we'll jump cut. I'll just put a couple of screws. Well, now, because that just in the essence of time, it's all screwed together. I just wanted to show you that it will indeed fit. So now let me jump cut and get this camera back here. Alright, I'm going to show you that this heat sink, and it's a pretty thick heat sink, that you press it in here just like you would if it didn't have it. Get it nestled in there. You can kind of tell when this is seating because it'll pop in just a hair. There it goes. See, and it's hanging. All right. Now place it down. I just wanted to show you guys that it will accommodate a pretty good size heat sink, because this is a pretty good size one. Screw that down in there, and there it is with a heat sink. And let's see if you can get an idea. It sticks up there pretty good, but the important thing is when you put this cover back on, will the cover fit? And the cover fits. Isn't that cool? Now don't go trying this now, because until the firmware update is out, this will return an error, and it'll tell you that you have to remove this drive because it's not set up for it. I'll have to look and see if I can find a screenshot of what that looks like. But that in a nutshell, I mean, that's it. It's simple. It's really easy to do. In fact, I'm going to put this back and just leave it where it's at, so that when the firmware update does come out, it's in the size slot that I need. But yeah, that little cylinder, it's very important that you keep that. Don't throw that away. That's not there just for nothing. That's there. It's a spacer, and you definitely want to keep that on there. Put this cover back on. I'm not going to bore y'all with putting it all back together. It's pretty simple. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me flash back, or let me readjust these cameras and jump cut back. Okay, yeah, we'll put the fan back on so that you all know just how easy it is to put the fan back on, because it really is. All you gotta do is line these wires up with a little channel that it goes back in. Like I say, you got to get them. I don't know why they didn't design this out more towards not being such a pain. And put the little shroud back on. It helps shield these wires. And you peel this little cover back and plug the little plug back in. Like I say, it can only be plugged in one way, so you're not going to reverse the polarity with it. And just stick that cover back on there. You don't have to take that plastic tape cover completely off, unless you're going to completely disassemble it. Then you have to. Okay, let's go back to the torques. Then, like I say, because you had these sitting here in order, you know exactly where they go when you go to put them back. Just tighten them down. Now we got all that back together. Reassembling this is just as easy as disassembling. All you have to do is, I don't know the one that doesn't have the disc. I guess you could still, I'm not sure how you would figure out which end is the bottom and which is the top. I guess you still, because what they consider the bottom is the one that's got the expansion slot. So what you do is you just line it up. Let's see, now let me lay this down. What you want to do, you can see these little, I don't know what you call them, little claws. But what you want to do is line them up with these holes, and then you push it back until it snaps, just like that. And turn it over and do the same thing with the top here. Same thing, you got the little claws. You got the PlayStation logo. They can only go in one way, so there's no way that you're going to get them in backwards. Just slot them in, and then you just push it till it clicks. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's just that simple. And taking these off will not void the warranty, so don't worry about that. I think that's nice that Sony did it like that, so you can get in here and clean this. But anyhow, that in a nutshell, that's it. I'll leave a link to a really good video on if you really want to dig into buying an M.2 drive. First of all, it has to be an NVMe drive. It has to be generation 4. So I can't remember the speed. 7,000 megabytes a second, something like that. Anyhow, I'll have a link to a video that really explains it. Buy at your own risk, just like I did, because when Sony comes out with a firmware that allows you to install it and use it, hopefully they're going to allow standard ones. The problem that they're doing is because the one that's internal is extremely fast, and they're wanting to make sure the ones that the expansion memory is just as fast, if not faster, so it doesn't take away from the performance. So buy at your own risk. I'll leave a link to a video that really is really informative about this. But anyhow, that in a nutshell is it. God bless y'all for watching. Hope you learned something. Me fumbling around. Anyhow, we'll see y'all in the next video.